It's a challenging time to be a teacher. We don't get paid a lot, the days can be long and exhausting, demands from students, parents, admins, and districts can be intense. There is always room for improvement, and there is always more to do. There are always new procedures to learn, new programs to run, new strategies to master. But it's when our fire burns the lowest that we remember our purpose. We teach because we're resilient. We teach because we're problem solvers. We teach because investing in kids is one of the highest callings we can imagine. We teach because we know that the classroom can be a place of magic and possibility. We teach because we have an unquenchable fire for learning and a passion to share it. We teach because our colleagues are some of the best human beings we will ever meet. We teach because we have an opportunity to influence the global citizens that will make this world a better place. If you're still on fire for learning and growth, join the Teachers on Fire Roundtable for conversations that will warm your heart, spark your thinking, and ignite your practice. You'll hear from real people and real educators with real solutions, not make-believe perfection, but ideas, inspiration, and a path toward change and transformation in K-12 education today. My name is Tim Cavey. I'm an 8th grade teacher, assistant principal, and the host of the Teachers on Fire podcast. I'm inviting you to join us at the Teachers on Fire Roundtable. Because you matter, your voice is important, and we are all better together. I'm muted. All right. Good morning, Teachers on Fire. Another rough start there. We're kind of having fun over here. That's okay. That's how we roll sometimes. I just encountered something I've never seen before with this streaming platform, which is a whole bunch of error messages and some crazy echoing going on, and not the greatest start. But here we go. We've restarted. We've got the crew together here for our CANVA workshop this morning. I'm going to make sure I'm unmuting those two, and we are going to try some different things this morning. Yes, we're going to have some conversation, but we're also going to spend some time in the CANVA workshop. We've got a number of friends here that I want to say hi to this morning. Livia is here. She says, great perseverance. Thank you, Livia. Yes. Well, I mean, just like in the classroom, right? We've got to stick with it and keep trying. Dr. Dan Kreinus, leader of learning, says, good morning, gentlemen. Coming to us from Connecticut. Tisha is here this morning as well. Good morning to you, Tisha. So I've got a couple of special guests, and these are special guests for different reasons. First of all, they are great friends. And secondly, they're educators with passions for creative work. So first of all, we've got Brian Carpenter at Brian Carr. He's a husband, father, teacher, fisherman, carpenter, Google and Adobe certified EdTech leader, and a podcaster himself at Fresh Air at 5. And then we've got Scott Nunes, Mr. Nunes Teach, or I should say at Mr. Nunes Teach. He's a former ELA teacher turned tech coach and now district engagement advocate for CANVA. How fun is that? A future codebreaker author and podcast host of Education Today. And you can connect with Education Today on Twitter at Education Today 8. Well, gentlemen, it's so good to have you here with me. I've been having a lot of fun in CANVA lately. I've been encouraging my whole school staff to get on the Education for CANVA, those free premium education accounts, and make use of them. Start creating and bring your students along as well. So, gentlemen, I want to turn it over to you with a first question. If number 1 is burnout and number 5 is on fire, how are you feeling this morning, Brian?
I'm going to go with the 3, Tim. Go with a 3. Middle ground. It's not completely burned out, but not on fire. Well, 3.5. We're moving up to 3.5. I'm feeling a 4 coming on right now. So feeling excited to be here. And this kind of stuff really, energizes me and brings me a lot of joy. So thanks for having me, Tim.
All right. Noah, we appreciate it. And I'll take the 3.5 for sure. Scott, how about you?
I would say a 5, but fairly easy when you're starting something new, right? And exciting, like working for CANVA. Definitely ready to help teachers coming in reinvigorated and energized and tons of ideas.
All right. Well, that sounds good, and we're going to jump in different directions this morning. We're going to show you a few tips. That's where we're starting, and we're also going to do some live logo creation. So you're welcome to watch, throw in your comments and suggestions. If you are joining us live, let us know where you are coming from. If you haven't yet said hello, please do so. I see a number of people jumping in this morning, so give us a shout, and we would love to say hello back to you. Just before we launch into our round of tips and strategies, we've got a few comments coming in. Livia says, you are all rocking the beards. I know, Livia, I've got the lamest beard here, but that's okay. I feel good about it. Teresa is here on YouTube. Good morning to you, Teresa. Tisha says, we also have it connected to our Canvas LMS. So many possibilities. Tisha, I've wondered about that before. How many people are getting Canva and Canvas mixed up? But that's cool that you've got them both going. Katie says, morning all. And Scott, please remind me that Katie, I think, is hoping for a logo. Is that right? Do I have that right? Okay.
Yeah, she's hoping.
All right. If you can, if you've got that Google Doc open, Scott, if you can throw that in there just to make sure I don't forget about that. And Tisha also says, I'm sort of working backwards here, but she says our district just got connected to Canva. So excited. Darren Holland from the UK. That's exciting as well. Thank you, sir, for joining us on LinkedIn. Says just installed Canva last week. Mel is here. Mel's always got the fun comments. She says, big famous people here today. Debbie here. We haven't seen Debbie a little while on the show. That's great to see you again, Debbie. She says, good morning. Canva just got approved for my district. So excited to learn more. Jenny says, I don't see your video. I wonder if, guys, am I showing up okay for you on your end? Okay. Laura Williams on LinkedIn also says, excited to learn how I can best use Canva to spice up instruction. And Livia, this is perfect because I'm building my slide deck for my very first speaking at a conference this Friday. Livia is amazing what she is contributing to the education community. Tyler says, good morning here in beautiful Idaho this morning. He took me up on my invitation to share where he is watching from. Oh, I've got to get Mel here. Is that the... I'm going to embarrass myself, but I hope that is the Colombian flag. All right. And Rochelle says, I can see you all, looking forward to hearing your ideas. Okay, I've got to leave the comments alone, but thank you all for engaging with us. That's what gives us fire. Gentlemen, we are starting with some tips and tricks. And I asked each of you to sort of think about what's one simple thing that you can share with our audience. And if you don't mind, I think probably the best way for you to do this is to share your own screens. So, Scott, we will start with you here. Scott is going to be sharing how to have an image pop out of a set frame with the background remover. So, Scott, if you don't mind, take it away. Share your screen with us and demonstrate what you are talking about in terms of popping an image out from a screen. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, you can see my screen, right?
We can.
Okay, I'm going over there. So I'm just going to remove these real quick. What I'm talking about here is just grabbing an image of yourself and making it pop out of a frame. So I'll show you what this looks like, and then I'll create it fresh here. So here's something that I posted on Twitter. So you grab a standard frame from Canva, put a background image in it, and then add an image that you want to pop out. So I'll show you how I did that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just add a gradient image.
I gotta say, while you're setting up this background, that was a pretty high kick. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I've been working on it. My parents used to have a martial arts studio. So to get the frames, go to elements on the left side, and then I usually just type in frame. So I did one with the circle, and then I did a fun one with like a brush stroke.
Guys, our audience is complaining about an echo. I think the problem might be on my end, so we'll see if adding the AirPods clears that up. Audience, keep me posted on the echo situation. Go ahead.
So I'm going to grab that picture here of me kicking. I'm going to add it to both of these. And then I'm going to take this and use the super cool background remover. Usually takes about 10 to 15 seconds. That was pretty quick. And I'm going to line up the size. Oops. That's that one up.
So you're going to do an overlay, right, Scott?
I'm going to do an overlay, and I'm going to recrop this image to make this a little bigger. I want my kick to really pop out of this picture.
Oh, okay, good. What are you doing? Yes, this is good, dude.
So you see how my head isn't in there and my leg's not there? Now I'm going to take this and kind of line it up.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm just using the arrow keys now to get it precise. If you want it to be more precise, you can make this initial one. You can come up here, go to transparent, and see if it lines up. See how it doesn't really line up? But for time's sake, I'm just going to leave it. You can see the error here. I could tweak this. And there we go. That's even better. That fixed it. So now I'm popping out of this frame. This is super fun. And now I'm just going to take this, copy it, and do the same thing. See what happens when I go directly over? It puts a new image in the frame. So I don't want that. I'm going to get as close as I can. And I can tell by looking at my fist in that image, I probably just need to make this picture a touch bigger. I'm going to slide this guy over. And try to find a point of reference or two to line up. So I'm using my shoulder. And what do you think, guys?
That's pretty good. That's pretty slick, Scott.
And that's pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, we're getting some comments here. Mel says, crazy kick indeed. Must be pretty familiar. Katie says, Canva layers on fire. Tisha, this is so cool, Scott. Thank you, Scott. And Dina is there as well saying the same. Jeff says, this is a great tutorial to see how the sausage is made, plus the reactions from viewers in Canada. All right, Olivia, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing. All right, Scott, well, thank you. We're going to take your screen down for a moment. And Brian, go ahead and share yours. I just removed Brian from the screen accidentally. Sorry, Brian. Okay. Let's get your screen in there. Yeah, take it away, Brian. What are you showing us today?
All right, I'm going to be talking about silhouette and iteration. So two different things and two different concepts. One, the thing about iteration in design is that it's important that we iterate a design and have a record that where we've been. And so I've been working on the design process with my students and trying to get them not to like type over all of their rough copies and not have evidence of their rough copies, right? When we do a writing project, back in my day, I'd write on one piece of paper and then I would write on another piece of paper to make, better copies of it and so on like that. And with digital work, it's so easy for us to like erase our pre-work and not have a record of it. So what I'm working with my students, I'm going to demonstrate here what we can do with Canva that it's difficult to do with some other programs because of the number of pages that we can have. This page here is a picture of me standing in my school a couple days ago. I can use the plus button or the duplicate button button at the top here to duplicate the page. When I do that, I see a title shows up on the page. So I can call this original image, right? 1.0, something like that, and press enter. Ooh. Now I have a version number on this image. With this one, I'm going to call it 1.1, right? So it's a version of that. And now, Scott, you showed us the background remover tool. So I'm going to take this background remover tool and I'm going to click background remove. And so I can pull the background out of that. And now I have me standing there. So this is image 1.1. I'm going to duplicate that. Come on. Duplicate this page. What's this page called?
1.2.
1.2. Okay, so then I'm going to do some work on this. Double click on this to crop it so it's a little bit tighter, not so much white space around like that. I'm going to center myself, so I'm doing some centering. And then so this is my version 1.2. I'll duplicate this page, call this 1.3. With this now, this is where I'm going to get into my silhouette work. And so silhouettes have to do with an image being a high contrast image that has a dark and a light, for example. I've discovered that I can do this with a tool called duotone. So if I go to edit this image with the duotone filter system, and that takes and allows me to make my image 2 colors, for example. So if I click on the cherry, it'll take all my blue and everything else and make it both red and black. Okay, so I got red and black there. If I go over to my adjustments here, I can see that my highlights are a certain color. I can make those yellow, so it pops out and becomes more yellow. For silhouette work, though, I make my highlights black and my shadows, what color? Black. And boom, there's a silhouette of me. I see a little silhouette of a man. Go queen, right? So then we duplicate this and we put version 1.4 and we go over to our elements, and I am looking for a Christmas tree like this. Okay, search for Christmas tree, press enter, and I'm gonna go for graphic in here once this loads.
Scott, where is he going with this? Where is he going with the Christmas tree? I can't figure
this out. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out too.
I'm super thumbs up about the Christmas tree. So basically, I'm going to take a black and white Christmas tree. I'm going to take this one here, stick this tree in beside me, and I can do some silhouette artwork with this now and decorate this frame that I could. At my school, we're having a glow gallery. So I've got all my students doing black and white graphics like this, and we're going to print them on fluorescent paper. So when we put them in the black light gallery, everything just pops.
Nice.
Wow.
So we got the silhouette using the duotone filter, and we have the iterations with your page numbers and numbering and labeling those so that you know what versions those are, so that when you're working through going, hey, I really like 1.3 compared to 1.8, you can go back to that and get there.
Dina says 1 million points for the Queen reference. Katie says love bringing value to the creation process. Jeffrey, I have my seniors making their own websites to keep learning portfolios. We use Canva. I am going to share this with them. Yeah, I really like, and Dan mentioned it too, really like the idea of the multiple iterations. Brian, you and I have talked about this on Instagram Live, but to see it like this, really, really cool. And I think you did it actually using Google Slides, which is sort of another approach to that same process. But very, very cool. Okay, pressure's on me. I'm going to show a couple of things really quick here. Thank you to both of you for those. Those were quick, high-value presentations. Really appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen. And one of you has got a sensitive mic, and I'm hearing the clicks really loud. You know what? That's probably me too sometimes. Okay, let's see here. Oh, that is not the screen. Here we go. Yeah, that went away, so thank you for that. And I'm going to try one more time to share my screen. Bear with me here. Okay, Untitled Designs. So I'm just going to make sure that's not the look that I want. There we go. That's what I want. So are you guys hearing me okay? Give me a thumbs up if when you go completely silent, it sort of unnerves me. All right. So I'm going to show you two quick things. The first one is this white outline idea that you've seen me play with on different social media lately. It's so fun. And Brian, actually, the white outline business will not really make much sense until I have some kind of a background. So let's go with that. And this is, I feel like this is super basic stuff. So compared to what Brian just showed you, this is not impressive at all. But We've got the shadows going on here, and oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, back up.
But Tim, about the super basic, until you know the super basic, it's pretty fantastic. Like that's the thing about this whole process, right? Until you know, you don't know, and doing the simple things like what you're going to show is pretty impressive. If you don't know how to do it, it's hard to do.
It's true. It's true. I'm going to remove the background. Let's try that again. And I'm going to throw in this background. That's what I wanted to do. So removing the background from this image. So we all know how to do that. And then I'm going to add the white outline and then take that in one more direction here. So here is the white outline. I couldn't figure out for the longest time how different YouTubers were making this happen, right? You see this style, and maybe it's overdone at this point, but so you reduce the blur to 0, transparency goes to 100, and then you can play with that size, and you've got that white outline effect. And something that one of you did really quick, but I learned from another tutorial, is if you double click the, I know what it was. When Scott was working with his frame, if you double click inside, it can sort of resize it. Oh, I don't know what happened there.
I've seen that kind of glitch go on in Canva.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. Not good. Okay, I'll try that one more time. That's not a great look for what we're trying to do. And then I'm trying to make my way to one more feature. All right, so size back to 10, blur 0, transparency 100. Oh, what happened to my image? Oh, there we go. Yeah, some things are a little wonky here this morning, but that's okay. And then the next step is to throw video behind. And that's something that we don't always think about, but we should be able to add some video. Here we go. And so the video library in the education accounts is massive. So Scott and Brian, suggest some kind of a video to throw behind this image.
Waterfall.
Ooh,
Waterfall.
I like it.
So the video stock library in Canva is incredible, and it should sort of jump there. Now, we're not trying to make this look realistic. If someone's saying that's fake looking or something, yeah.
You know what? What's wrong with wearing a suit to a waterfall? Nothing wrong with it, people. Nothing.
Ooh, that's really cool.
That's good, Tim.
Yeah, and it's like you're pointing to the waterfall. I love it.
And then you can save, of course, as a GIF, right? And so you can do fun things with that. And I won't go through the whole download process, but you can save that as a GIF. And if it stops animating, just hit that play button, or there should be normally there's a play button up here as well where you can sort of play with that as well. But I'll do one more that I was playing with a little bit lately. And that is smoke. I don't know. It's maybe it's just me, but I find this so much fun. So anyway, lots of possibilities. Because you can save them as GIFs, it means that you can use them, on social media in different places and create some cool effects. It just makes that an announcement, let's say, pop a little bit more than just your ordinary image. So that is adding the white outline and the GIF.
That's really cool. You could use it as a chat card as well when you're joining all these chats like #CrazyPLN, which happened this morning. You could just put your info in there and put that hashtag, and boom, now you have a custom chat card.
Yeah, it's a little bit more eye-catching than actually just an image, right? So taking it to the next level.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen. I had a few issues there that I'm sort of wondering about, but I'll have to go back and check that out later. Anyway, the white outline should be fairly easy. It could be my computer is struggling with the performance load this morning. The next part of our show is going to be moving to some design challenges. So we're going to go, first of all, to Carla, and I'm going to open up or share this screen. So we had on Twitter someone named Carla Mora. Carla Mora, yes, I have that right. And just while you start to think about what you will be building here, we're going to set this up a little bit. I'll read a little bit about what Carla is looking for, and then I will set a 10-minute countdown, and we'll see what you can come up with for a logo on Canva. So Carla says, I need a logo. I'm a librarian. I'm currently serving an elementary school. Our county is building a new high school, and I've been asked to move there beginning of next year. The library is gorgeous and has a small reading room, which I plan to develop into a video audio studio. My background with students at the elementary level has been heavy in video production. Would love to branch into podcasting with high school students. It would be nice to have a logo for our library to use on social media and display on the back wall of the video audio room. All right, maybe that is enough. She shares more information, but basically we've got library, we've got video audio studio, possible podcasting, and her school name, I see one of you tagging it, is the Wolves. That's the mascot. So I don't know if you want to figure the Wolves in here as well, but we're going to say my concept is going to be the first one. Brian, you've got the second page. Scott, you've got the third. Gentlemen, are you ready to design a logo for Carla?
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
All right, let's see what you can come up with. On your mark, get set, go.
All right, here we go. Oh, Liberty Creek High School. That's what it is. I got to go and I'm going to Liberty Creek High School. So this is where you got to get in the have all your tabs running so you can go and get information. Right? So you're doing your research on the fly.
All right, and I'd better start designing as well. So on Canva, for the uninitiated, you've got, I see Scott's going with the wolf. All right. Brian, haven't seen anything yet. So you can search the logo templates. And she mentioned library, she mentioned audio, video, podcasting, and we've got the school Wolves. So I'm going to start with the library and see what I get there. In terms of what I'm searching for right now is library-themed logos. And I was just talking about I was just talking with my 6th graders this week about what makes an effective logo. It needs to be simple, not overdone, memorable, convey the mood, the mission of the organization. Anything else you would add to that, gentlemen, in terms of what a logo should be?
Yeah, I would agree with all those things because if it's too busy, it's not going to work out, right? Like if we look at the Nike logo, we can see that swoop and it means a whole lot, or Under Armour, right? So very simple. But you got to have a brand that goes along with that you can strip it down to one single swoop. Okay, so I've gone and got their logo from their website, their banner. Take out the background if I can. How's it going, Scott?
It's going good. I need to not look at yours. I'm feeling like I don't know. I had an idea and then I got thrown off. I think I got to start from ground zero again because I need to keep it more simple. I'm trying to grab all the elements and I don't think I can do all of those.
Yeah, that's always a temptation, and I agree with you, Scott. I think when it comes to logos, we have to find ways to just go with the core concept, and that's what I'm struggling with too, is which direction to go. So Brian's actually using the Wolves logo. Good for you, Brian. Let's see.
That's better. Okay.
And maybe I will shift the camera over to Scott's page so the audience can follow what Scott's doing.
She called this a library or library learning commons?
That is another great question. I think I saw the word library. So if you are watching in the audience, we see a number of people joining us live. So Michelle Noons is saying, instead of a blue wolf, could the wolf be composed of books? Interesting question.
Ooh, going back to my original design. Yeah, that could be cool. Like putting in like a wolf frame. I think that would require me jumping out of Canva, though. It can be done. In the comments earlier this week, Tim, you gave a shout out to our friend Jay from the Staff Room podcast. They do some pretty cool stuff with Canva, and they were able to put images with their faces, but that requires taking an image and making that silhouette like Brian did transparent essentially, and everything else is in frame, and then you can use it like your own frame and fill it in. Basically, you put a background image and then you slap the silhouette, but the silhouette, instead of having a solid image, is transparent, so the background shines through.
Nice. Guys, I am giving up on creating my own version. It's just too many things to think about. So I am just going to focus on
Tim's, producing a show and creating.
Oh, too many things to think about at once. So I'm just going to observe what you are doing and maybe comment as we go. So Brian's trying to bring in the podcasting idea along with the school logo. And he's got the words library and podcasting. When we talk about logos, and you already mentioned the swoosh, Brian, often they are so simple, and we get tempted to add so many different pieces. So I wonder if this will, I'm looking at Brian's here, I'm wondering if that will start to get a little busy. I don't know. And Scott's got the books. He's got the wolves with a microphone. I wonder if you could put a microphone in front of the wolf, have the wolf kind of speaking into the mic.
Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Let's try it. No, different color.
May not work out too well.
No, I think we can do it. We could try something like that. I'm going to put a darker background, and I think that will help.
What I don't know how to do is export this with a transparent background. How do I do that?
You can do it. I think, yes, I am screen sharing properly. So I don't know if you can look over at the broadcast, Brian, but I've got the download button, and then you just check this box to transparent background, and it will do it. It'll drop the background. The one thing Canva cannot do, at least at this time from what I can tell, and Scott, correct me if I have this wrong, but Canva cannot allow you to download videos or short video clips with a transparent background. It cannot drop the background, unfortunately.
The BG remove equivalent, but dropping the background in your video, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that feature is not available yet, but as I like to say, if you can dream it, you can do it with Canva. So I'm sure the engineers are working on it.
Yeah. Okay. There is a product out there called Unscreen that does something like that. All right, gentlemen, we're going to have to call it soon on this design. A few more comments. Tisha is saying the possibilities are endless. I could spend all day in this platform. We agree, Tisha. Tim says I usually spend way too much time just choosing a font. Tisha, doing great, guys. Love seeing the design process in action. Jeffrey says howling wolf sitting atop a stack of books howling into the microphone. That could work.
Okay.
That combo could work. Katie says wolf paw with library elements in each piece of the pay, making your mark through learning and creating concept. We're going to have to leave it there. And okay, let me go back up to Brian's. Oh, I am on Brian's. Okay, so Liberty Creek. Not bad, Brian. Not bad. I'd like to give you a round of applause. I don't have that lined up. I don't have the Rodecaster Pro or Stream, the device with the sound effects that George has and Che has. Yeah. Scott. Okay, we see some cool colors happening there. He's sort of taking Jeffrey's advice a little bit.
I'm making an addition, Scott.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, so if you don't know what happened there, Brian is jumping into Scott's design, and that's the beauty of the collaboration power in Canva. I was so excited when I saw them add that feature, Scott. Now, speaking of Canva, we need to take a moment and give away some prizes. So, Scott, you've got, why don't you tell us what is the nature of these prizes from Canva?
So I'm super excited. When I told Canva that I was coming on the show, they were very gracious, and they said, hey, how about we give you $10, $30 vouchers? I'm like, what? That's amazing. So that's what we're giving away today on the show. And with those vouchers, what you could do is you could take a design like this. So if Carly liked our design, she could take it and then go ahead and put it on a mug, a t-shirt, and that $30 voucher would go towards having Canva print that. Canva can print posters. Dr. Randall Sampson has some great examples of posters that he's displayed throughout some of his campuses that he works at, and using Canva, and they come out really clear. You could do stickers too. So
all right,
possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm eligible, but I would love to take advantage of that at some point. We're going to start with our audience, though. So thank you all for joining us. Let's put it this way. Let's try something. I'm a little worried that if we just throw it open to whoever jumps into the comments first, it's going to be a little bit chaotic. So let's throw all these people into the wheel of names. Does that sound okay to you guys?
Sounds
Yeah.
Love
all right.
the wheel of names.
And we will.
It takes the guesswork out of it, Scott and Tim.
That's right.
Who's going to get it? And
Right.
So I have to stop that one. Okay, that's why that wasn't working. Share screen. I've got the wheel of names open. And if you are in the audience and you're joining us right now, could you just simply write "add me" into the comments? And Brian and Scott, could you give me all the names as you see them? And if whoever writes "add me" into the chat, we're going to add them to the wheel of names. Go ahead.
Waiting. We're a bit faster than what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're on a bit of a delay. Okay, so I saw Tisha. Who else do we have?
Depends on what platform you're on.
Oh, you're not seeing all of them. Okay, so
I'm just
Dina?
looking at YouTube. I'm not.
All right,
seeing
so
any.
if you can be in the Streamyard view, gentlemen, I think you can see all of the comments there. Let me know if you cannot. Maybe it's up to me to.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
So we have Deanna. Did we have?
Yeah.
Deanna? Okay. We
Dina,
have-
yeah.
Oh, Dina. My bad. Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Dina. I should know that.
No problem.
Katie.
Anyone else? Katie, okay.
Tim B.
Tim B. Belmont, yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
And anyone else? We'll go last call. If we don't get any more entries right now, Scott, we can just give away the vouchers to these fine people, because you got so many from Canva. That makes the selection pretty easy. So we don't even need to
go back through the comments. Oh, we have Livia and Laura as well.
Livia and Laura. Is Carla here too?
Oh, she's not here right now. No. She just chimed in and said, "Hey, how about this?" Right? So
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. No. I don't know if I think we may have our. Oh yeah, Laura says "add me" on LinkedIn. Okay, we got her. I'm going to leave that there. We may not need to spin the wheel, gentlemen. I think we've got our 10.
Right.
It looks like that's going to be fine. So the wheel's going to have to wait. Let's go to our second design. So we had, as a request, we had Kramer Gibson, who says, quote, and let me just reorient my camera here in StreamYard. He says, I need a logo for my upcoming elementary music series, The Cat's Piano, where I teach mini piano lessons among my 2 cats to be accessed by students for a flipped classroom learning model. Okay, so that's kind of fun. We've got piano and cats, and we've got Kramer. And gentlemen, I linked the tweet there. So we're going to, looking at the time, we're going to cut this one down. Let's just sort of observe what you can come up with in 5 minutes. Can we say that? So let's stick to the same Canva design. And Brian, would you take page 4?
Yep.
And let me make sure that I am sharing that so the audience can follow along. So Chrome tab, and there we go. So Brian, this is going to be your concept, and you can start right away. You are on page 4, and then Scott, could you take page 5?
Yes.
All right, he's on page 5. So Brian, we are watching you. You've got 5 minutes. Kramer's talking about piano. He's talking about cats and teaching music. And again, what was the name of his broadcast? The Cat's Piano. All right.
The Cat's Piano.
The Cat's Piano. Shout out to Creamer Gibson. You'll find him on Twitter at Creamer Musician. And maybe it gets to be too many clicks if I try to bring up that tweet. But yes, so that sounds like a really fun sort of show concept, Kramer. All right. Yes, Brian. He's got an adorable cat. So that's something that the Canva library is really good at, is coming up with a ton of great images. Something else, Scott, by the way, that I really appreciate about Canva, not to put down any other platforms, but Canva allows pasting images directly into your design, which is not something that every platform can do. So, for example, you can go to a great image source like unsplash.com or other teachers like Pixabay or Pexels or StockSnap, and you can grab images. I think Unsplash is the best, and you can bring them in very, very easily, very fast. So Scott is going with the sort of more of the icon angle. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here for our audience. And I like that. I like what you're coming up with in a short amount of time there, Scott. He's got the piano, the title. The cat is sort of stretching out and touching the piano.
Cat's piano?
Oh.
I think it's the Cat's Piano.
Okay.
He's got the apostrophe after the S, which makes sense given that we're talking plural on the cats. Yes.
There's more than one cat playing
singular
a piano.
cat. I'm still waking up. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. Brian is using that cool, what is that text feature called, Brian?
It's called
it Glow?
Glow or...
Yeah, I think it's the Glow.
That.
Yeah.
Lift.
All right. Lift. Lift. There we go.
Okay, so I got something like that. Don't look at Scott's. See, the problem when you're designing with other people is you cheat, right?
Yes, it's easy to look. So I'm not looking this time.
Okay. All right.
All right, if you're just joining us, we're trying to come up with a logo design for Kramer Gibson, who is running a show called The Cat's Piano. So you're looking at Brian's concept, and he's got a cat. He's bringing in some music. Now, if you flip those musical notes to black or find some black ones, you could sort of make it half on, half off the image, Brian.
Yeah,
but
I can.
Not saying that's better. You've got some better ideas than I have. And Scott's fitting those cats nicely on the piano. Guys, you did pretty well, I have to say, to come up with these in a short amount of time. You may give Kramer some ideas. Now, I'm just wondering about background. I don't want to interfere too much, but what would happen if we... And it might make it too noisy, too, if I throw a background behind Brian's.
You know what I'm really liking about this? I like the Control-D in here. I like to duplicate that. I can just, with a keystroke, be able to duplicate, right?
Yes. All of your traditional shortcut keys work very well in Canva. I like that. I still need to learn some of them. Like I'm blanking right now, but Control D is one I was using a lot a couple weeks ago.
Tim, that's a good background. I like that.
Yeah, it is fun, but you know what? Keeping in mind the logo concept, logo is a little different than graphic, right? And so we don't necessarily want to fill the screen. You want that white space or black space, as it were. All right, gentlemen, I think we're going to leave it there just for the sake of time. Thank you so much. Kramer, those probably aren't quite ready to go for what you have in mind, but maybe they give you some ideas. Mel is still with us. She says, I love Command D. She's on a Mac.
Yep.
So another vote. Yes, Jeffrey says Control D for duplicate. So we've got a couple fans of that feature. And Tisha as well. Duplicate is a fantastic feature that I am continuously using. I have not been using Control D. I've been doing it the slow way, the Control V way. So I've got to make use of that. We're starting to come to the end, but Scott, you mentioned Katie as well. Tell us about what Katie was hoping for from us today.
Yeah, so Katie just needs a logo, and she gave us an example to draw from in her mood board. She's a huge fan of butterflies, and then her favorite color is purple as well. And then, let me see, she sent me a mock-up. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at it here.
I'm almost done, Scott.
She had some keywords in there, which I forgot to bring over to our document. She has the words inspire, create, repeat, and the name katiem.edu. I'll put it in our private chat.
All right, so we'll try to, again, hurry this one a little bit. Let's stay on the same design that we were on.
I'm on page 6, Scott on page 7.
Brian's already taken page 6, so let's bring that back up for the viewers. Streamyard has this new picture-in-picture layout that allows me to put your screens or your faces at the bottom of the screen, which is kind of nice, and right over top of the stream. So Brian, actually that may not be as good. Let's try putting your faces at the side. Maybe that's better. Audience, let me know. Eric Davison, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Good to have you here as well. And Eric Davison, I don't know if we got your name into the 10. Looking back at my wheel of names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're still waiting for a 10th name. So Eric, if you could make use of a $30 print voucher from Canva, say I'm in the chat, and we will make sure to get that to you. We're still looking for a 10th person. Tyler on YouTube is asking, did you create your overlay and backdrop in Canva for use in Streamyard? Yes, thank you for the question. So everything you see there in terms of the background I'm using right now and the Welcome to the Teachers on Fire Roundtable, all of that at the top, that is a background that I'm using in this stream, and that was created in Canva as well. All right, let's drop in. Brian, you were going to say something about your design.
I was asking Scott, was that her Twitter handle, katiem.edu, Scott?
No, hers is Katie J. McNamara.
Katie J. McNamara, okay.
So I'm looking at Scott's design. He's got the butterfly on the, I don't know what to call that circle there, but it's sort of a, you know, what's coming to mind is distressed. Oh, now we're lighting it up with some neon.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We have to say, and our audience can empathize with this, I think, we have to say that making logos in 5 minutes is not ideal.
It can be done.
We're sort of scrambling we're just grasping for quick ideas and concepts, but truly to do a good job, and if we had more time this morning, I wanted the two of you to redesign my Teachers on Fire podcast logo, but to do a good job really does take a lot of thought, and frankly, it's a good exercise for middle schoolers or high schoolers to think through. What is the mood that you're going for? What are the key features or identifiers? Key colors. All of that has to be there. Okay, so we are looking at Brian's.
So, Tim, recently I talked to you about the pressure, putting a time pressure on creation. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I gave my students in class a task. I'm like, I want you to make something in 10 minutes, go. And they're like, what, 10 minutes? And I'm like, and as soon as we were done, I had them reflect on the process that we went through. And I said, how do you feel about that? And they're like, we didn't like it. I'm like, why? Well, creation, you can't put time limits on creation. But I'm like, well, there's a place and time for that, as opposed to just letting you take forever to do something, right? And so this is something you and I have talked about, over the years is getting onto it compared to making it perfect, right? So
exactly. Just as Seth Godin says, just ship it. Brian, I like that very simple butterfly, and I'm wondering if we could do some kind of I'm just throwing this out. You don't have to add this to your design, but I wonder what would happen if we sort of added some kind of a beautiful KM. Oh, I see what you're.
I'm
what's
liking that? I peeked up.
What's the second word you've got there, Brian? I think it might be
refine.
Refine.
So I got to take in my line spacing and I got to stretch that out so we can see that.
We've got an extra C in there. There we go. Breathe, refine, believe. Ooh, I might get rid of that new beginnings. So you're angling the text a little bit. Okay. Going back to Scott's. Yeah, Scott, you know what? I was thinking that those three words with the create centered. Oh, and you're rounding it around. Oh, I like what is happening here.
Yeah, what do you think about that now?
That's coming on. That's coming on. I wonder if I would be inclined, you're just hearing personal taste here, I'd be inclined to space those just a touch, just to let them, I guess I can show you.
Give them some breathing room? Oh, I see what you're doing. Yes.
Just a little bit like that. And yeah, Scott just alluded to it. So you can go in with the word spacing in Canva. You can change the letters and space them out as you like as well. That's something probably most of our viewers are familiar with, but so I think we did Katie's logo justice as well. We probably gave you a few ideas. She's probably ahead of us on some designs, but maybe that gives her something to think about. That was fun. Thank you so much, Katie.
Gentlemen, that neon font, Scott, that's pretty cool. Pretty nice.
Thank you. I like yours. Oh. There's a lot of beauty with like the clean lines.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm like the typo king. Just look at my Twitter.
Gentlemen, I'm taking you over time, so we're going to cut it on the workshop. Thank you so much for participating this morning. I've got a... Can you stick around for 5 minutes while we close?
Yes, yeah. For sure.
All right, cool. Just a couple of quick questions for you. And thank you both of you, or thank you as well to our audience, our viewing audience this morning. You've been fantastic and sticking around the whole time. So I don't have a clear sense of, Scott, can people DM you? Is that too much work for you if they DM you in your Twitter for just to get in touch for the Canva vouchers, or maybe we should reach out to them because we've got the names.
To them if you give me that list, or I can go back through the broadcast.
Okay,
we'll be okay.
I see Eric did get back to me on YouTube and say I'm in. So we've got our 10 names. I just wanted to ask you guys as we close, and this has to be rapid fire, but very quickly, whose voices are inspiring you right now? Who is one person as you look around that is really lighting your fire for learning? Brian, who's that one person for you?
That one person for me. Right now, I'm going to say Tom Schimmer. And Tom is... his podcast is captivating. It's thoughtful, and it's fresh every week. And he keeps us challenged. Okay, got to put in there Big George as well, George Koros. And
Hey, I said one.
George Koros with Mindful Mondays. And so, if you want something encouraging to listen to on Monday mornings, every morning he puts out a podcast where he has some deep thoughts about goals and life ideas and things like that. So.
Awesome. Shout out to Tom and George. Scott, how about for you?
Oh, wow. so hard because there's so many who are so great in our PLN. I'm going to give a shout out to Tasha Poncio. So she works for Wakelet. We had a Friendsgiving episode on the podcast on Wednesday. She's so talented and such a great friend and mentor. She really helped me transition from my ed tech space as a tech coach to like an actual ed tech company, and let me know of all the changes and some of the lingo, because it's really different. It's the same. I'm going from supporting 100+ digital tools to one great tool, but how you do that, it's a little different. It's a little trickier than you might think. It's not so simple. And so a month in, I am still learning a lot. So she's been great.
Awesome. Okay. And who was it in the comments? Yes, Tisha says Tasha Poncio is wonderful. Plus, she's got a great name. Yes, I was waiting for that. Waiting for that, Tisha. And gentlemen, what's one thing that you're looking forward to in the coming week in your own work? This is a chance for you to plug maybe your own podcast or something else that you're working on that you're excited to share with our audience. Scott, I'll start with you.
Yeah, join me next Saturday. Sorry, Tim, it's going to conflict, but I didn't pick the time. 10 a.m. Central Time, so 8 a.m. We'll be conflicting. I didn't think about that. My bad, Tim. But Flipgrid and Canva are announcing their collaboration later this week at the end of the month. And then December 4th, we're doing a live broadcast. So check that out. It's going to be super exciting. Flipgrid is really just loud, exciting, and out there. And so I'm really going to be feeding off their energy. It's going to be a lot of fun.
They are a crazy crew. And Brian, what about you? What's one thing you are focusing on learning, doing with your students? I know you've got something going on all the time.
Yeah, well, we're working on silhouette art and getting ready for our glow galleries. So doing black and white art, like I showed there at the top of this segment. And so that's something that's exciting to do, getting them to think simplistically about how clean lines are important and not, busyness, but not clutter, right? So there's a difference between busy and clutter. Personally, the podcast is recording episode 49 this coming week. And hopefully, with the atmospheric river pouring down, Tim, I might opt out of walking on Monday and Tuesday, because we're expecting people out there in our neighborhood. We are expecting about 10 or 12 inches of rain in the next 4 days. We've got a flooding problem in our neighborhood, in our town here. Prime Minister joined us yesterday in town to look at the problem. But the podcast is continuing on, and my reflections as I listen to podcasts. So if you need some podcasts to listen to, go and check out my podcast. And just after you wade through listening to me talk for a while, you get some ideas.
Fresh air at 5. Brian is alone in the Twitter sphere in terms of the daily, right, Scott? The daily regular video reflections. He's got that nailed down. And I'm sure he would welcome company in that space. I know Chris Nessie gave it a try recently. Scott, what about you? What are some of the best ways for us to connect with you?
Oh, Twitter's the best. You could follow me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook at Mr. Noons Teach. That would be the best way. And don't be afraid to DM me if you need anything, you want to share some ideas, get some ideas. I'm here to help.
Well, thanks again to our awesome audience. I got a little rattled there at the beginning when I had a StreamYard meltdown disaster, and and I forgot to put my AirPods in, so there was a bit of an echo and all kinds of things. And you know what? Our audience stuck around, so we love and appreciate all of you. So many familiar names here with us, and we look forward to seeing what you are creating in Canva. I don't know if I said it at the top, but this is not an official Canva event. They didn't ask me to do this. I'm just passionate about the product, the platform, and want to share that and see other teachers getting involved. We are going to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you again. I'm going to look for my outro clip, and we will say goodbye. So give everyone a wave. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Later, guys.